NTA International News.
President Jonathan unveils new currency notes to commemorate Nigeria's 100 years amalgamation. 2015 election, Nigerians in diaspora endorsed President Jonathan's re-election bid. West African sub-region appeals for trans-border water security to address climate change challenge. Nigerian government to increase fund to anti-corruption and justice sectors to ensure good governance. It's good to have you join us on NTA International News. I'm Taiwo Odugbeson. President Goodluck Jonathan has unveiled the new 100 Naira currency note to commemorate Nigeria's centenary celebration. The ceremony was performed before the Federal Executive Council meeting commenced. State House correspondent Segun Lawole now reports.
The 100 Naira commemorative note has been designed and produced with most advanced security technology in the world. Described as first of its kind, the CBN Governor Emefiele, while presenting the security and quality profile of the new note, explained that the digital currency note has inbuilt enhanced security to offer it robust resistance against counterfeiting and tolerance in tropics.
In issuing this note, Mr. President, the Central Bank of Nigeria is joining the nation in celebrating 100 years of our amalgamation. In keeping with Central Bank's tradition of excellence, we have produced a banknote which is the first of its kind in many respects, but most importantly, that it has been designed and produced with most advanced security technology in the world.
President Jonathan commended the CBN governor and his team. It will be recalled that 4 years ago, a commemorative currency note of 50 Naira was produced for Nigeria's 50th independence anniversary. In the State House, Segun Lawole, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the federal government has awarded the contract for the upgrading of Section 3 of the East-West Road, a 15-kilometer which was not included in the major reconstruction work of East-West Road, as the FCT also got approval for development of additional infrastructure in some districts. State House correspondent Segun Lawole again reports that the approval was given by the Federal Executive Council.
One may be tempted to feel that today at the Federal Executive Council was dedicated to the Federal Capital Territory. 5 memos were presented before the Council by the Federal Capital Territory Minister alone, 2 of which have to do with district development, where primary infrastructure are currently being developed. The Council meeting chaired by President Jonathan approved the 5 memos brought before the Council by the Federal Capital Territory Minister, seeking approval for the upward review of the contract sum of 39.68 billion naira for provision of infrastructure at Wuye District to 43.11 billion naira. It is to accommodate the construction of a flyover at Wuye District. The Council also approved for the FCT the construction of one service carriageway at a cost of 7.17 billion naira. The 14-kilometer inner northern expressway annex will connect the ring road from the central area to Abuja Industrial Park. The contract for the extension of the inner southern expressway to the airport expressway also got the approval of the Council. FCT Minister also got an approval for the provision of access road and engineering infrastructure at a plot and adjoining plots around Hot FM.
Mr. President has deepened private sector participation and is transformational in terms of provision of infrastructure, and we know and we are aware of the demographic that is going against us, the infrastructural deficit. Of course, we have funding challenges in other projects, but we cannot stop. We really have to innovate, to recreate, so that we can provide access, we can provide infrastructure to tally with the increasing population that is coming to the FCT.
FCT also got approval for consultancy services for the construction of Nigeria's Cultural Center and Millennium Tower Project, Abuja.
The consultants attribute the designs, monitor the project, and offer full quantity surveying. Council noted that an anticipatory approval was granted by President Obasanjo in 2006 for these consultancy services, and the several due process and procedures and renegotiations over these years involving the BPP, FCTA, and the consultants.
The contract for upgrading of 15 kilometers section 3 of the East-West Road has also been awarded. Section 3 covers Port Harcourt, Eleme Junction to Oneport Junction at a cost of 43.86 billion naira.
What should also be noted is that this road had been earlier built and dualized by 1999, and as at the time of the award of the contract in 2006 of the East-West Road, it was in fair condition and was therefore not included in the major reconstruction work of the East-West Road.
The Federal Executive Council also approved the review of the estimated total cost of the contract for the construction of Malete Water Works in Kwara State. The project started in 2013.
And this is in keeping with the desire of this administration to meet the MDGs by 2015, to also key into the African Water Vision 2025 and also the Nigerian Vision 2020.
In the State House, Shegun Lawole, NTA News.
Away from the Federal Executive Council meeting, more than 70% of Nigerians in the United Kingdom have turned out en masse to endorse the re-election of President Goodluck Jonathan for the 2015 general election. From London, Hawa Yusuf Funtua reports that the event was organized by Pan-African Voice.
It is a safe assumption to make that the re-election of Dr. Goodluck Jonathan as Nigerian president for the second term will be talked about for years to come, and November 11, 2014 will be referred to as a momentous period when the nation came together and collectively decided to stick for his re-election.
The current Nigerian voice is saying this is the man that the future of Nigeria depends. We have seen a lot of characters come and go, but where has that left Nigeria? We expect a president that has been in post for 4 years to actually satisfy everyone. Nigeria is the biggest country in the whole African continent.
The Pan-African Voice, who organized the event, explained that the rationale behind their support for the re-election of President Jonathan is because of his humility, commitment to keep the country together in spite of economic difficulties and the alien insurgency of the group Boko Haram.
And I'm here to fully endorse our brother, our friend, a man of the people, and the man who has the interest of the country at heart, Dr. Jonathan, as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that he should go back into the office and continue his work.
Hawa Yusuf Funtua, NTA News.
Security crisis, implication for national integration and development, as well as political and electoral violence in Nigeria and the role of security agencies are some of the issues being discussed at a two-day seminar holding in Abuja. The event, organized by ASIS International, Advancing Security Worldwide, brought together security professionals from the public and private sectors with the theme Security and Electioneering Governance in Nigeria, Building an Inclusive Future. Phoebe Kaburuk reports.
As the road to the 2015 general elections in Nigeria, more organizations are coming together to exchange ideas on contemporary national security issues towards ensuring a hitch-free exercise. The choice of the theme, the organizers say, is to understand the political space in which democracy thrives and to meaningfully contribute to healthy debates and discuss towards enhancing and building trust, especially as the 2015 general elections approaches.
The pre-election security is very crucial to us. What we are doing now as a service is to create a sort of synergy among all the security agencies in the country.
That people just have to change their attitude and make sure that they are working together, follow the rules and regulation, the rules of engagement, even with the security agencies, to make sure that we have a successful elections.
People don't willingly give information, and without information, you can't generate intelligence that will make you sit on top of any security challenge. So I would just want to advocate that we should try and get everybody on board. And that was why I talked about corporate security and national security coming together.
Chief of Naval Staff Vice Admiral Usman Jibril, represented, said a major pillar of the Nigerian Navy transformation process under the federal government's transformation agenda is interagency and sub-regional cooperation to ward off activities of insecurity in Nigeria's maritime environment.
Confronting the security challenges of our time demands effective cooperation and collaboration amongst various security agencies, including private security agencies.
While organizations are discussing and networking, the consensus at this event is for all not to lose sight of individuals' responsibilities towards ensuring a more effective and efficient governance for a better Nigeria. Phoebe Kabruk, NTA News.
Towards the re-election of President Goodluck Jonathan come 2015, the Jonathan Youth Vanguard National Headquarters in Abuja was today commissioned. Timothy Yusuf reports that the Vanguard is the only accredited youth campaign organization committed to the task of sensitizing Nigerian youths to collectively work towards re-electing President Goodluck Jonathan. The report.
The opening of this corporate headquarters is one in the series of conscious efforts to reposition the Jonathan Youth Vanguard for more efficient engagement with numerous Nigerian youth groups and organizations for easy interaction and sharing of wider enlightenment on the present administration's unprecedented achievements towards a better future for Nigerians.
Mr. President, from this structure here, we definitely get victory. 2015.
The National Coordinator, Yushau Bagudo, and Director General of the Jonathan Youth Vanguard, Urubebe Ebiz, both believe that the fully equipped office will enhance effective discharge of complex engagements for re-election of President Jonathan come 2015. They also enjoined Nigerians to rise in total support of the effort of the Jonathan administration in order to advance the country beyond the reach. In Abuja, Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
The All Progressive Grand Alliance, APGA, has rescheduled its primaries ahead of 2015 elections. The governorship primaries will now hold on the 8th of December this year. National chairman of the party, Chief Victor Ume, stated this in Abuja. Correspondent Kenneth Nanim now reports.
Chief Victor Ume says the primaries was being rescheduled due to some logistic problems. World Congresses now holds on 25th of this month, while the House of Assembly primaries is fixed for 3rd December. House of Representatives primaries holds the next day with the Senate on the 6th. He promised a level playing ground for all aspirants. Meanwhile, Dr. Alex Oti has left PDP to pick the APGA gubernatorial form ahead of Abia State election. He says the decision was born out of strong belief in the party's ideology and manifesto.
Have what it takes to rescue the state and put it back on path of sustainable development.
We can safely say that he's being moved by compassion to come and rescue his people.
Dr. Alex Oti is now the 4th governorship aspirant to pick APGA nomination farm. In Abuja, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Thank you, Kenneth. This is the news on NTA International from Abuja, Nigeria's capital. We informed you that President Jonathan has unveiled new 100 Naira note to commemorate Nigeria's 100 years amalgamation. You also heard that Nigerians in diaspora have endorsed President Jonathan's re-election bid. Still to come, West African sub-region appealed for trans-border water security to tackle climate change. Details after the break.
And enlist mass participation in governance. Seyi Makinde, a philanthropist driving a collective vision of a people of your state in a unique way. Seyi Makinde, a man of the people and a silent achiever. Seyi Makinde can be trusted to do more.
We will change.
Seyi Makinde, the man for change.
The FRC and NTA and VON annual service of 9 lessons in Christmas carols is here again.
The program, which started over 10 years ago in our as a local carol night, has grown into a national affair.
It's an exhibition of classical and Nigerian Christmas songs and carols,
Featuring spirit-lifting renditions and inspiring messages in celebration of the living Christ.
Celebrated groups like the Lars Ekweme Choral Group will be there.
Theme, celebrating the Prince of Peace.
Venue, National Christian Center, Abuja.
Date, Sunday, 14th December 2014.
Time, 3 p.m.
Message giver, Senior Pastor, Dunamis International Gospel Center, Dr. Paul Enenche.
For sponsorship details, call 0803-303-7678
0803-704-3300
or 0802-722-2869.
Coming live on Radio Nigeria, NTA and Voice of Nigeria, Sunday, December 14, 2014.
The FRCN, NTA and VON annual service of 9 lessons and Christmas carols.
Making Christmas memorable for you.
As the demand for fresh water resources increases in West Africa, the sub-region is advocating trans-border water security to address the challenges of population growth and climate change. Musa Babali reports that Nigeria is hosting the Regional Conference on Water Management. The reports.
West African countries, including Nigeria, are increasingly challenged to ensure sustainable management of shared freshwater systems in the face of global climate change, food insecurity, urbanization, among others. This is coming as the existing international laws are equally becoming inadequate to protect and guarantee equal access to the resource. Therefore, the management of transboundary water and effective cooperation becomes imperative, as about 125 countries share a major river basin globally. Stakeholders are of the view that when freshwater resources are cooperatively shared and effectively managed, peace and sustainable development are more likely to be achieved.
Cooperation so that everybody should cooperate in the equitable use of this water resource. Security, because we know that if we do not do that, it could be another source of war in future.
This workshop on transboundary water security and cooperation in the West African sub-region is to create awareness on the importance of regional water security and cooperation through effective sensitization shared freshwater resources.
Education about water issues will have to occur at all levels to equip people with the knowledge, skills, and values to play a role in developing and protecting the resource.
There is also the need for countries to cooperate on the sharing of transboundary groundwater, which is an important and increasing source of fresh water.
The key objective of the integrated water resources management is to re-establish water quality and ecosystem functions through improved water management, flood loss reduction, and pollution control. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
The Nigerian government is to increase funding and support to the anti-corruption and justice sectors as a way of ensuring good governance. Minister of National Planning, Dr. Abubakar Suleiman, stated this in a message to the joint meeting of chief executives of some EU-funded projects in Nigeria. Femi Okewo now reports.
Support to anti-corruption, justice sector reform, and drug-related organized crime are 3 projects funded by the European Union and the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime in Nigeria. While the projects have been running for 2 years now, the EU says that the counterpart support and funding by Nigeria has not been strong.
And progress has been quite slow, but it is linked to budget reallocations. Governance, the fight against drugs, the fight against corruption are key to the new Nigeria.
A policy dialogue forum between the EU and the chief executives of the government bodies involved in these three projects was therefore held in Abuja, coordinated by the National Planning Commission. One of the high points of the meeting was the call for a concerted effort to increase the level of internal funding allocated to institutions with a mandate to fight corruption and ensure accessible justice to all Nigerians. A position which the Minister of National Planning said government was already committed to.
The federal government of Nigeria recognizes the need for an improved good governance and better coordination of the entire justice sector.
The outcome of the meeting of the chief executives would feed into the Nigerian-EU political dialogue on corruption, drug and crime, and justice sector reform. In Abuja, Femi Okeowo, NTA News.
The Nigerian Institute of Medical Research is reviewing the performance and challenges of implementing health-related MDGs. Rashidat Mustafa Olagunju reports that it was at the Institute's 50th Annual Scientific and Second International Conference in Abuja with the theme Tracking the Performance of Health-Related MDGs, Role of Evidence. Her report.
Taking stock of MDGs implementation in Nigeria from the health-related angle, speakers at the conference noted that Nigeria has recorded tremendous success in some of the agenda, but has a lot to do in others. They emphasize the role of medical research in the attainment of the goals, ethical condition for conducting research in time of epidemic, and adequate funding are some issues raised at the conference.
Research is what gives us the answers for tomorrow, so we can never stop funding research.
Research requires a lot of investment in terms of money, materials, and man. But there is no serious commitment to research in Nigeria.
Dr. Nkiruka Odunoku delivered a lecture on the interplay between non-communicable and infectious diseases, developing countries, challenges, and prospects, while Professor Rob Murphy, a professor of infectious disease from Northwestern University in Chicago, lauded Nigeria's successful fight against Ebola. The Nigerian Institute of Medical Research is the foremost and oldest research organization in Nigeria. Its responsibilities include conducting research into diseases of public health importance and developing structures for the dissemination of research findings. In Abuja, Rashidat Mustafa Olagunju, NTA News.
Now to business and economy. Federal government of Nigeria to conduct a bond auction this Wednesday. Plus, regulators fine global banks $3.4 billion in forex probe. Details of this and more with Chiazalam Ekie.
The Nigerian government, through the Debt Management Office, the DMO, is to conduct a bond auction at the primary markets. The three major instruments include 3-year, 10-year, and 20-year bonds. Meanwhile, in the commodity markets, Brent crude has traded its lowest in 4 years, below $83 per barrel, amid signs that OPEC members are reluctant to reduce supply even as prices soar. In the meantime, Britain's Chancellor George Osborne says tough action has been taken to clean up corruption by 5 major banks for failing to stop their traders from manipulating foreign exchange markets. The 5 banks have been fined $3.4 billion.
For what Thursday's weather will look like in some Nigerian and world cities, let's check out the forecast. And that wraps up the news. Thanks for watching. I'm Taiwo Odugbeson.
fascinating Nigeria.
Africa's biggest market. Extraordinary, fascinating Nigeria.
From smoky vehicles to smoke-free, from gases we emit to the atmosphere, to deforestation and afforestation, whatever we do has effects on the climate. We bring you in-depth perspectives on issues and developments on climate, the environment, and you. The environment.
It's up to us, all of us. The safety of our communities is in our hands. The police need our help and support. Boko Haram threatens our lives, our future, our country. But Nigeria belongs to us. God has blessed us with this rich land. Let us protect her as we protect each other. Report any criminal activity. Call these numbers. Your call is anonymous, and it is vitally important. Your support so far has been critical. Continuing it will make all the difference between a Nigeria of the fearful and a Nigeria of the free. Protect each other, for we are not terrorists. We are Nigerians. A message from the State Security Service.
Nigeria occupied.
Urban slum is a worldwide phenomenon whereby people live in very poor areas of a city where the houses are dirty and in poor conditions, and in most cases bereft of necessary infrastructure as well as poor environmental conditions. Some of the main slum areas are the ancestral homelands of the inhabitants, while others are mere settlements on city fringes occupied by migrant farmers from neighboring communities and the urban poor who cannot afford the high cost of housing and other facilities in the cities.
The urban slums are those areas that are not quite built to standards, but do not have approved building codes. Those structures are erected. Many times they do not have even what you would call the necessary infrastructures, such as good roads, such as pipeline water. Life in urban area in a slum is quite different from those that are quite well urbanized and planned. So I would call it an unplanned part of the city.
You have two types of slum, let me put it this way. One is the central slum, like what David has mentioned. Two is the peripheral slum, like all the Igbo and the rest of them that are all around the city.
A slum is an area that is usually located at the urban fringe or a city fringe, and it's usually developed because of high population density within an urban center, and also because of inequality in income, whereby some of the poor, especially the people at the lowest echelon in terms of finances, cannot afford accommodation within the inner city. Then they have to construct some makeshift settlements at the fringe of the urban center. So such settlements that usually surround the inner city, that are not well planned, that don't have basic infrastructure services like water, good roads, electricity, and even security. They constitute what is known as slum.
The United Nations Human Settlements Program, UN Habitat, defines a slum settlement as a household that cannot provide one of the following basic living characteristics: durable housing of permanent nature that protects against extreme climatic conditions, sufficient living space, which means not more than 3 people sharing the same room, easy access to potable, safe water in sufficient amounts at an affordable price, access to adequate sanitation in the form of a private or public toilet shared by a reasonable number of people, security of tenure that prevents forced eviction. UN Habitat estimates that around a third of urban residents live in slums, but in sub-Saharan Africa, the problem of urban poverty is especially acute, with about 62% of the region's urban population living in slum conditions. Poor slum dwellers commonly suffer from unemployment, illiteracy, drug addiction, and low mortality rate of both adults and children. Thus, a resultant effect of not meeting up with one or all of UN Habitat's basic living conditions. Most of the urban slums in Nigeria fall short of the basic living conditions as specified by UN Habitat. A number of these urban slums are found in Enugu, Oukid, Ogui urban area, Ubo-Okonkwo, Oguago, and Ahia-4 Camp 1, Iva Valley, to mention but a few. This is Ogui urban area, one of the oldest and most densely populated slum settlements within Enugu metropolis, derisively called Urban Jungle. This area is the ancestral home of Oguinike people. As would be expected, most of the basic living conditions specified by UN Habitat are absent here.
You cannot even think of a state standard, neither national standard, before we talk of World Health Organization standard of 4 persons per toilet.
Every city across the world that I have traveled have places that are called urban slums. What you do when you have those is try to manage them and try to do some type of gentrification in a gradual manner for, again, not displace the residents. So therefore, those areas that were not ever planned, that were settled by the farmers, have turned to become slums.
It takes a lot of planning that has been neglected over the years. Okay, a city don't just go. A city has to be planned. If you don't plan, then certainly you meet some of these challenges. And when you meet them, you don't have solutions to them.
Urbanization and rapid population growth forced the poor migrant farmers and artisans to join the aborigines of Ogui urban area in the sustenance of these slum areas. People here live in suffocating, overcrowded environment, surrounded by mounds of uncollected waste. Slum dwellers here live in cramped housing structures, which house insects that become vectors for diseases. A family of 6 or more share a space not bigger than one small room. Many households are located in areas that do not have proper drainage. The presence of large open sewage and uncollected garbage exacerbates the problems of already inadequate drainage network. As in many informal settlements, high levels of crime and other social vices occur in Ogui urban area.
The place hibernates criminals in the sense that the Indian hemp smokers are living there, the pickpocketers are living there, armed robbers are living there too, because they have a lot of hideouts
in the places where they hide. They go outside and sell and come back there. At times, most people don't go there even. People are afraid of going there. If you've not been there before and you go there, you might get a bad experience because you might lose your phone. If not losing your phone, you may get stabbed, especially when you go to the area where they're selling Indian hemp.
Criminality in slums are usually self-generated. People from outside slum areas hardly come into the slum areas to rob. Because of the exigencies and the socio-economic deprivation being experienced by the youth within a slum, they develop into some criminal activities. And because everybody youth that are willing to work, when they don't have opportunity to work, and naturally they will feel hungry. So before you know it, they engage in different criminal activities.
We are supposed to be developed. Even marijuana, people are smoking it here. There's a lot of criminals because here is Jampart. It's not well developed. Let them lay it out.
Discover that some criminals may want to hide in those areas that will give room for their for their not being detected easily, because criminals like to hibernate in those areas that that will make it difficult for security agencies to easily detect them. And such areas are in those areas that are not planned. Like for instance, it will be difficult for a criminal to begin to dwell the planned areas like maybe GRAs, New Heaven, for instance, maybe those all those areas that are planned. It's going to be hard for them to go in those areas. But if you come over to these slum areas, where it's not organized, and the buildings are indiscriminately erected.
Despite the fact police may not come in, but you can go into slum area and constitute neighborhood watch. Select credible people, credible youths that are honest, people that have no track record of criminal activity in the past. Then you consider them to be the watchdog of their immediate environment. So once these people, and the best strategy in this world is a strategy, security strategy is a security strategy that involves the locals in policing the environment. Because an alarmed security agent may not be familiar with the terrain, but if you put somebody that is from that area, he knows all big and highways that come or move out of that particular environment.
This is a typical depiction of life in slums, which often fail to acknowledge the deeper causes of insecurity and violence. Thus, the links between levels of crime and incidences of poverty, inequality, social exclusion, and youth unemployment.
Poverty is a big problem. It cannot be difficult to manage poverty. There's what you can do. Through informal sector. We believe that informal sector is the way out. I don't believe that. Even though I made the informal sector can make a contribution. We believe the informal sector is the way out. You train in skills development, and what are the consequences of that? When you have individuals, private people, everybody in his own, operating, it has consequences. It has consequences with managing the city. It has consequences with building slums.
Due to lack of home toilets, these slum dwellers use the wrap and throw method of defecating in the open or into waste materials.
We don't have toilets and our houses are dilapidated. We live in 1 or 2 rooms that are not enough for the household. We barely manage to live here while working for coal corporation.
In this area, you will see about 10 rooms with average of 6 inmates, 6 times 10, 60. Queuing to use 1 toilet and 1 bathroom. If you don't wake up as early as 4 o'clock, you may be the number 17th person to get into the toilet. And if you're under pressure, you know what that means. So, and that has led to indiscriminate defecation within the neighboring empty plots of land in the area. So then leave as early as possible. Some even provide a bucket system and cellophane materials inside their houses, then answer the call of nature inside into it and tie it. And you would think that the person is going to refuse them to dispose these household refuse, not knowing that it is packed human feces.
Solid waste management and drainage are grossly inadequate or at times non-existent, with huge quantities of uncollected waste finding its way into drains and water courses, causing blockages and exacerbating problems of flooding. Poor sanitation has been a problem here for decades. Wastewater discharges freely into open drains, canals, and ponds.
Pipe-borne water is an issue too, because you have to dig the ground, and digging the ground means you have to demolish some buildings in order to. So what you do in those cases, you have multiple taps where the water corporation will build a water center where people can come and fetch water and take to their private residences. We also have a central location for disposal of waste. So it's not like those ones where we put it close to your house. You put it in a central place where residents can actually take their waste, and you put so many waste bins to accommodate, because these are highly densely populated areas. So you put enough waste bins, about 10 or 15 of them, and then of course the vehicles that pick them up, such as the compactor truck, will have to do more frequent trips because of the population density of that area.
Our sanitation work and what do you call it?